In a world overwhelmed by noise, silence itself has become an act of profound rebellion. We live in times where every moment is contested by distractions, where every glance is seized by flashing lights, digital screens, and endless streams of information demanding our attention. The cacophony is relentless. The marketplace beckons with 1,000 voices shouting, "Me, wear me, prove your worth." It's a world designed to compel us to shout louder, to make ourselves seen, heard, and envied. But beneath this clamorous surface, a quiet resistance grows. Not born out of poverty or deprivation, but from wisdom, intention, and self-possession. This resistance is what we call quiet luxury. To many, luxury conjures images of excess, flamboyance, and ostentation, golden chandeliers, glaring logos, extravagant displays meant to impress. But true luxury is something else entirely. It is the mastery of discernment, the rejection of excess, the embrace of what endures beyond the fleeting glare of fashion and fame. Quiet luxury is not about having more. It is about needing less, choosing better, and valuing depth over surface. It is the calm in a storm of noise, the steady breath in a world gasping for attention. This philosophy resonates deeply with the ancient teachings of Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us that the good life is one lived in harmony with nature, governed by reason and virtue, free from the tyranny of passion and impulse. The Stoics taught that external goods, wealth, possessions, status, are indifferent. What matters is how we use them and whether they enslave us or serve us. Quiet luxury is the embodiment of this principle. It is a life where possessions exist, not to display power or wealth, but to support a life of meaning and tranquility. Consider the man who wears a perfectly tailored jacket without a visible brand, a jacket chosen for its cut, fabric, and craftsmanship rather than its label. This is quiet luxury. Consider a home that is not crowded with things, but arranged with intention, where space invites reflection and silence is honored as much as sound. Consider a timepiece that does not sparkle with diamonds, but carries a legacy of patience, skill, and timeless design. This is not about scarcity or austerity. It is about clarity, about refusing to be seduced by noise and spectacle. In a world that thrives on insecurity, loudness, and constant novelty, quiet luxury is a radical declaration of confidence. The market sells us an illusion that our value lies in what we own, what we wear, how we are perceived. Yet the Stoics remind us that true wealth is freedom from desire. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The man who chases recognition through branded goods is a slave, no matter how fine his possessions. The man who embraces quiet luxury is free because he knows his worth is not defined by external markers. Quiet luxury is a discipline. It requires the courage to say no to the temptations of fast fashion, disposable goods, and hollow status symbols. It demands patience, to invest in quality over quantity, in timelessness over trend. It requires presence, to live with intention, to let go of what distracts from what matters. This discipline is not deprivation. The Stoics were not ascetics in the strictest sense. They enjoyed the good things in life, but never allowed those things to dominate them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Quiet luxury reflects this mindset. It is the harmony between inner values and outer expression. When you wear something of quiet luxury, you do not seek applause or validation. You wear it because it aligns with your standards of excellence, integrity, and calm. This is especially important today, when technology feeds a constant desire for novelty, when social media promotes endless comparison, and when identity is too often wrapped in the transient packaging of fashion. Quiet luxury is a refusal to be swept away by this tide. It is a return to the essentials: quality, craftsmanship, purpose, and restraint. It is a practice that transcends material goods. It is a way of seeing the world, valuing the intangible as much as the tangible. It honors the artisan who labors patiently, the materials that age gracefully, the design that respects function and form in equal measure. It is an understanding that the most profound luxury is not possession, but freedom from anxiety over appearances, freedom from the need to impress, freedom from the exhausting cycle of consumption. This freedom is a gift given not by external riches, but by inner mastery. The Stoic life teaches us to be sovereign over our desires, to cultivate peace in the face of chaos, and to live with virtue above all else. Quiet luxury is a material expression of these values. It invites us to slow down, to appreciate, to live with deliberation. It invites us to create environments where the soul can breathe. In doing so, it offers us something rare in our age, in our actions, presence in our choices, presence in ourselves. To live with quiet luxury is to make a statement without words. It is to embody strength without spectacle. It is the power of restraint. When Alexander the Great once said, "I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion," he spoke of leadership and courage. Quiet luxury is the armor of that lion, the calm confidence that leads without needing to roar. We often forget that the loudest signal is not the strongest signal. True strength whispers. True power is silent. It is held by the man who does not need to prove his worth through possessions, but who carries it in his character, his actions, and his poise. Quiet luxury honors time. It knows that some things improve with age, that legacy matters more than momentary attention. It asks us to reconsider what we value, not the fleeting thrill of a flashy purchase, but the enduring satisfaction of quality. It reminds us that when we surround ourselves with things that last, we cultivate a mindset that lasts, and that mindset is one of peace. Peace that comes from knowing you are enough. Peace that comes from choosing what serves your life, not what enslaves it. Peace that comes from embracing simplicity without sacrificing excellence. As we move forward in a world increasingly defined by excess and noise, the practice of quiet luxury becomes an act of resistance and a pathway to freedom. The Stoics remind us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Likewise, waste no more time chasing what you do not need. Instead, be the man who chooses what is good, what is true, what is lasting. The world will continue to shout, to demand, to seduce. But you choose quietude. Choose substance over surface. Choose integrity over image. Choose calm over chaos. Choose quiet luxury. In doing so, you honor not only yourself, but the timeless wisdom of those who walked before us. Let me now deepen this reflection. Consider the power of silence, not just as the absence of noise, but as a presence in itself, a presence that commands attention by withholding it. Quiet luxury functions in this same manner. It is the silent nod in a conversation filled with shouting. It is the subtlety of a fine wine sipped slowly, not gulped to excess. When we seek to impress through loudness, we give away our power. We hand over control to the gaze of others, allowing their judgments to define us. But the man of quiet luxury reclaims that power by mastering his own gaze. He knows his value, and he wears it quietly, confidently, unshakably. In this way, quiet luxury is also a form of courage. It takes courage to stand apart, to resist the siren call of fleeting trends and consumerism's unending appetite. It is courage to embrace simplicity in a culture obsessed with more. It is courage to value substance in a world that worships surface, and it is courage to find satisfaction not in applause but in peace. The Stoics teach us that virtue is sufficient for happiness. Quiet luxury echoes this by showing us that quality is sufficient for style. They teach that external goods are indifferent, but what we do with them is essential. Quiet luxury embodies this teaching by elevating possessions beyond mere commodities to expressions of values. It is why the quiet luxury wearer chooses a jacket not for its label, but for its cut. Why he chooses a watch not for its flash, but for its craftsmanship. Why he chooses his environment not for its display, but for its harmony. This harmony is key. Harmony between inner and outer worlds. Harmony between desire and restraint. Harmony between present and future. Harmony that sustains us in a chaotic world. So in closing, I invite you to embrace quiet luxury, not as a superficial trend, but as a lifelong discipline. To cultivate it in what you wear, what you own, and how you live. To let it remind you daily that true luxury lies not in excess, but in essence. That power lies not in noise, but in restraint. That worth lies not in display, but in character. And that, in the words of the Stoics, the greatest wealth is freedom.